the thing I got to ask you about right away is I think you came and saw us in like January 16, and I think it was a week or two before David Bowie passed. And I remember the day that we found out, we made a special compilation video of part of your space and part of your interview at London Real Studios talking about the connection with the song, the way you modified it, the way it all happened. And I just watched that and it was really meaningful. So maybe we just talk about that first, because it says a lot about who you are. Can you talk about that video, and maybe for people that don't understand, explain how you filmed it in space, what it meant to you, and what's been the reaction even 7 years later to that thing?
Sure. I've been a musician my whole life. I bought my first guitar when I was 9 years old. I have a guitar right here in my office behind me. And up on the space station, there is a guitar. And it's put there because it's not just because I wanted to play guitar, but because a long time ago, our psychological support team, like most people on Earth know intuitively, they recognized that art is necessary for human mental health. I mean, you have to have that self-expression and the you can't just live on the dogmatic necessities of life. There has to be some beauty and some cleverness and originality and texture to what's happening. And so NASA psychiatrists bought this little guitar, and they went to the guitar shop, if you can imagine. You can imagine a little troop of NASA engineers and psychiatrists going to a guitar shop. But they put it up there. It's a little Canadian guitar made by Larry Vay, a little slightly undersized. And when I knew there was a guitar up on the space station, I thought, well, I've got to play and do some recording while I'm up there. I mean, what a rare opportunity to, if there's any spare time at all, to try and interpret what's happening. What is life like off of planet Earth? And can you turn that into some sort of artistic medium that then people can understand it a little more viscerally? And so it was my intent, in amongst all of the technical and leadership stuff going on. And I got up there and I recorded a song that my brother and I had written, because it was around Christmas time and we'd written sort of a space carol called Jewel in the Night. My son released that onto SoundCloud, and immediately people started on the internet going, whoa, there's an astronaut who's recording good music on the space station. He ought to do Space Oddity. And so my son, texts me a note. I'm working all day. I go into my little sleep pod at night. And there's a note from my son saying, hey, Dad, do a cover of Space Oddity. And I'm like, yeah, right. Why don't I just do a cover of Beethoven's Fifth as well? It's not, you can't just cover Bowie. He was brilliant. He was generational. He was just so clear thinking and artistically talented. But my son said something prophetic. He said, Dad, do it or you'll regret it forever. And I was like, well, shoot. Okay. So I got him to send me a copy of Bowie singing it. And all I did was a little karaoke version. I floated the microphone in front of me. I was listening to David in my headset. And then I just set up GarageBand on my iPad and just plumbed it through. And I was just sort of humoring my son. But when I listened to just my audio track of singing Space Oddity, I was kind of surprised. I was very surprised. It somehow felt right. It felt like it matched the circumstances. It matched the place that I was. And I don't know how Bowie knew that was going to work. He was only 19 or 20 when he wrote that song. He wrote it just before we walked on the moon. But it just sounded so right. I thought, oh, cool. Okay, I'm going to put a little guitar into that. So the beauty of GarageBand, I could do multi-track. I put guitar underneath. And then I was going, wow, that sounds really lovely together. A friend of mine used to be in Bowie's band. She was a singer in his band, a lady named M. Greiner. I sent a note to M saying, hey, M, crazy project, but I'm doing a version of Bowie's Oddity up here. What do you think? I sent her my audio track, and she's like, well, geez, the astronaut dies in Space Oddity. You may not want. And so we changed the words, my son and I. But when she heard the vocals, she was like, wow, that's way better than I thought. And so she said, can I put a little piano intro? And then once she had that, she said, I got a friend who's a multi-instrumentalist, Joe Corcoran. He put all those great instrumentals underneath. And then I had my new lyrics. And so I did another vocal track on top because I loved their instrumentals. And suddenly we had what we thought was kind of a really lovely version of Oddity. Then my son, Evan, weighed in again and said, Dad, you need to make a video. You're in space. No one's going to believe you if you don't make a video of it. So I'm like, hey, I'm kind of busy up here. I'm commanding a spaceship and we got 200 experiments. But he said, just do it. And so one Saturday I stole an hour and I would play that track and sing along with myself and just film myself in a bunch of places I thought, might be interesting. I floated a guitar down the Japanese laboratory module and just made a bunch of clips and fired all that video to my son and said, if you can turn it into something, great. And he and a buddy of his edited it. And then we had a big emergency on the space station. I forgot. We had to get Bowie's permission and had to contact through his legal team, and through my friend M. But she came back and said, he loves it. And he described it as the most poignant version of the song ever recorded. So he was tickled with the whole thing. And so my son edited into that video, and just with the timing, we didn't get it released until the day before I came home after 6 months. And it was so funny because I was super busy. We'd had a big emergency on the space station, had to do an emergency spacewalk. I just hadn't been paying any attention to what my son was doing. But I knew he'd released it. And I landed, we came flaming down through the atmosphere, rolled to a stop in the steppes of Kazakhstan, and the team's there to rescue. They open up the hatch, and this guy leans in and he sees me. His name's Sasha, and he goes, Chris, привет, мальчик, как вы живете? Hey, Chris, я видел твой клип, очень прекрасно. Which is like, hey, Chris, hey, how you doing, guy? Hey, I saw that video you made. Man, it's outstanding. And I'm thinking, holy crap, we just got released it, 12 hours ago. I am now in the middle of nowhere, Kazakhstan, and the guy has already seen that video and loved it, thinking, wow, a lot of people must have seen it. And you mentioned it'd be seen 50 million times. That's just at my son's website. All the other places it's hosted, it's hundreds and hundreds of millions of versions. And so it was a great project. But the coolest thing, Brian, was that Bowie was almost at the end of his life. As you say, he died shortly after you and I did that last chat together. And I was in this unique position to honor him. A song that he'd written back when he was 19, 20, as a teenager. And he'd always wanted to fly in space, all the Mars themes and Starman themes. Even his last album had space themes. And so he got to see his creation performed in a place that he always wanted to go in kind of a new and updated version. And I put a big smile on Bowie's face, in the last couple of years of that long and productive life, which to me was just the best part of the whole project.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, do you want to profit from crypto? Then join my DeFi Academy. The Crypto DeFi Academy will help you create generational wealth. But don't take my word for it. Listen to my students.
When I first got into crypto, I remember thinking to myself, I need to learn more. Brian Rose, learning crypto, learning DeFi, gotta do it.
I am so grateful that I jumped in and did this. I had to break through some limiting beliefs that I can do this, that I can afford this, that I can be in this.
It challenges the things that are deeply rooted within us.
Joining DeFi Academy has been one of the best decisions I have made on my blockchain journey.
This course was a life changer, a game changer, a huge eye-opener, coming from knowing practically nothing at the speed of the learning over 4 weeks was just fantastic.
The information you provided in this class was invaluable.
I feel far more confident in my next steps.
You took complex concepts and made them easier to understand.
What's different than so many other ones is it just doesn't tell you what to do. It actually makes you do it.
This is for people who are serious about becoming traders. This is the way it should be done.
I realized from this learning experience again that it is not about what you learn, but about who you learn it from.
The energy was insane. I've never experienced such incredible energy on a live call. Brian Rose, you are a legend, my friend.
It's the only thing in the market where you can get all information and learn everything what you need to know.
Everything is so clear and so well done, and I am just forever grateful for this program.
It made me feel so much more confident about crypto than I did before.
I did not anticipate how passionate I was going to become about it.
It's also been like a big learning experience for me, not just in the crypto space, but just an overall balance of life.
What I've learned is, how to take ownership, of my life in a way that I really hadn't before.
Yeah, you can't put a price on that, really.
I would recommend it to anybody, top notch.
Excellence does not come cheap. So if you want excellence, you got to pay for it, but it's so worth it.
Pull the trigger. That's what this course is about.
You're not going to regret it, really. It's amazing.
Thank you, Brian and team.
So what are you waiting for? Crypto is happening now. Click the link below, submit your application, and let me mentor you on how to create generational wealth and build the decentralized financial infrastructure of the future.